In 2004, Mark and his four friends Eduardo Saverin, Chris Hughes, Andrew McCollum, and Dustin Moskovitz began writing code for a program inspired by the idea of his three Harvard graduates and his childhood memories of Phillips Exeter Academy, which at the time published its roster of students with photos. So we're going to tell you the story of Facebook and even more about Mark Zuckerberg. Was Mark Zuckerberg an actual alien or just plain weird? After seeing his life, maybe you can decide about it. Let's begin. His full name is Mark Elliott Zuckerberg, born on May 14, 1984 in New York. His father, Edward Zuckerberg, was a dentist, and his mother, Karen, was a psychiatrist. He has three sisters, Ariel, Randy, and Donna. Zuckerberg's great-grandparents were originally Jewish and emigrated from Austria and Germany. So Mark and his sisters all grew up in a Jewish Reform family. Mark married Priscilla Chan on May 19, 2012, and she was born in the United States. Her parents were immigrants from Vietnam. First she was at Harvard, then she completed her medical studies at the College of California and became a pediatrician. When Mark was 11 years old, he developed intranet messaging software to send messages to various computers in his house and at his father's dental clinic. His thought was to find a way to facilitate communication. He called this intranet program ZuckNet. When he was still in high school, he created a sensation and called it Synapse Media Player. It was a program based on machine learning that played music based on the user's preferences. It was such a success that Microsoft was willing to buy it and offered Mark a large sum, but he declined the offer. He uploaded the program to Slashdot for free. When Mark moved to Harvard, he developed Course Match for Harvard students, which allowed them to know what courses their friends were taking at the college and to form study groups. Basically, it was a course buddy finder. Three older Harvard students, Cameron Winklevoss, Tyler Winklevoss, and Divya Narendra, were very impressed with Mark's work because he understood his programming caliber. So they met with him and told him about an idea that resembled Facebook and asked him to work with them. The three Harvard seniors offered to help Mark write code for a social networking program called HarvardConnection.com, through which Harvard students could interact with each other and transmit photos, videos, and other forms of media. The popularity of the program among students at all these universities prompted him to look into it deeply. He also realized that he had to grow it into a behemoth. He would need funds and a very good mentor. It was the time he left Harvard and moved into a rented house in Palo Alto, California with his four friends. Next, he needed to find an investor and a good mentor who could steer them in the right direction, because they were good technocrats but new to the industry. They met Peter Thiel, a renowned angel investor of the time in the US. Peter liked their idea and he agreed to invest and also became their mentor. Then, Mark set up his office in Silicon Valley, California, and the name of the company was changed from The Facebook to Facebook. Recently, in October 2021, the name of Facebook's parent company, Facebook Incorporated, was changed to Meta Incorporated. The change is made in view of the future of the metaverse. The word meta means beyond in the Greek language. A few days after the launch of The Facebook in February 2004, Mark's three fellow students, Tyler Winklevoss, Cameron Winklevoss, and Divya Narendra, complained in Harvard University's daily newspaper, the Harvard Crimson, accusing him of using their idea of HarvardConnection.com to create Facebook. They filed a lawsuit against Mark and the matter went to court, where it was proven that Facebook's idea was similar to HarvardConnection.com's. The three seniors won the case, and the matter was settled for $65 million, of which $20 million was in cash and the rest of $45 million in shares of Facebook. Eduardo Saverin was one of his fellow students at Harvard and co-founder of Facebook. In 2005, he sued Mark, claiming that Mark spent his funds from Facebook on his personal expenses without his consent. The case was later dropped, and the matter settled out of court, but the terms of the settlement have not been made public. In 2010, Mark and his Facebook co-founders got into a blasphemy case because of a German woman. This German woman organized a Draw Muhammad contest on Facebook. When people in Pakistan and other Muslim countries found out about the contest, they were offended. The Deputy Attorney General of Pakistan, Muhammad Azhar, immediately called for an investigation and asked Interpol to arrest Mark and his co-founders Dustin and Chris for insulting Muhammad. Facebook was banned in Pakistan until the content was removed. In 2014, Mark bought 700 acres of land on the island of Kauai in Hawaii and built a stone wall around the property. However, some families on the island claimed that they had not sold the land but were the rightful owners of the land, and that their land was occupied by Mark. In response, Mark apologized for withdrawing all cases, and he was aware that the rules for land sales on Hawaii Island are different than in other states in the US. Paul Seglia of New York filed a lawsuit against Mark in June 2010, claiming to receive 84% of Facebook shares and other monetary claims. He alleged that on April 28, 2003, a contract was signed between him and Mark promising to pay Seglia 50% of all Facebook's revenue and 1% additional business shares per day until after January 1st, 2004, until Facebook launched. Facebook authorities investigated the matter and determined that the claim was completely false. In October 2012, Seglia was arrested for making false claims about Facebook founders and falsifying and removing evidence. In April 2018, Mark appeared before the U.S. Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation to testify about Facebook's role in using users' personal data in connection with the data breach between Facebook and Cambridge Analytica. In October 2020, the same committee issued subpoenas to the CEOs of Facebook, Google, and Twitter to testify about the legal protections afforded tech platforms under Section 230 of the Communications Act of 1934. In response to the attack on the U.S. Capitol building on January 6, 2021, Mark was subpoenaed in March 2021 to answer questions from members of Congress about Facebook's role in the attack. Mark and his wife Priscilla tried to help society, which gave them such a great success. They founded the Education Foundation, under which they gave a donation of $100 million to the Newark Public School in 2010. In 2013, Mark donated 18 million Facebook shares worth $990 million to the Silicon Valley Community Foundation, which was considered the highest donation of 2013 and put the couple at the top of the list of America's top philanthropists, according to the Chronicle of Philanthropy magazine in its 2013 issue. In 2015, as the Ebola virus spread through the West African country, the couple donated $25 million for its treatment. In December 2015, they established the Chan Zuckerberg Foundation, under which they pledged to donate 99% of their shares to Facebook. This fund will be used for philanthropic purposes during their lifetime. Recently, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Mark donated $25 million to a foundation supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which works to discover and treat diseases. He also approved a $25 million grant to support journalism for its courageous work during the pandemic. From this, we can conclude that Mark is a person with high-tech skills, and over time he has become calmer, kinder, and more generous, which has helped him build his gigantic meta community. The quality that has brought him so much success is mainly that he only did the work he enjoyed the most and was good at, and that is the key to his success. That was the last at the moment. Of course, everything new happens while dealing with billionaires like him, but we can talk about them later. Or you can ask about them down in the comments. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.